Hey everybody, Chris the Cop here. Welcome back. Thanks for watching, and definitely thank you for all your support. All right, we have a little ready or not, I guess, tutorial to maybe talk about the sites and some of the equipment that are available in this game. I guess that's the best way to put it. So, here you go. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. All right, so I have been reading the comments over the Ready or Not videos, which have just been phenomenal. I finally was able to catch up and respond to every comment. Just so you know, if you are new to this channel or you're new to watching these videos, I have taken the pride of responding to every initial first comment. Now, I have my settings set that if you send me a reply to my reply, I'm probably not going to see it. Sometimes I do, but everyone who responds to a new video will always get a response to me. And sometimes my responses are just simply, thank you very much, while others are in depth. So this all depends on your comment or your question that you may have. So just want to kind of give you that. Now, I'm reading the comments about Ready or Not. Number one, I am now officially working with the devs. We have actually exchanged phone numbers, and we are now talking to each other via text. So that's kind of cool. Number two, reading the comments, people are talking about, hey, well, could you do a tutorial about the equipment, or can you talk about the equipment? Now, I have to say, despite what people may think, there are people who just get like knee deep into like the type of sights that we put on rifles and the type of guns, all of this type of stuff. I mean, you ask them about this weapon and they're going to be like, blah, 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 blah. I'm not one of those people. I rely on the experts. There are people who just, like I said, they pride themselves on this stuff, and they, you know, they're like, we need to get this sight, and we need to get this, and we need to get that. And I'm like, okay, tell me why. And they, you know, give us all their pros and cons. Sometimes we do what we call a little TNT, and the whole entire team tries it out, and yeah, and then we make a decision. So, but with that, I will give you a little bit. The one thing I want to talk about is the sights, because I know there's two different types of sights per se in this game. And I want to talk a little bit about when you are zeroing in your sight, as I kind of showed in my last video, of why it's kind of so important. And for some of the mechanics in the game, these are things that you should take into account, especially if you're going to take a long shot. Short shots, we're pretty much dead on when we're inside of these buildings and so forth like that. But if you're going to take a long shot, you may have a miss in the game, because the game does take into account the distance of your target, which is realistic. But we'll jump into that in just a little bit. And that's what this is about. Just a quick short video about my experience with some of the sites that are in the game. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am Chris the Cop. I'm a real police officer playing video games and talking everything nerd. If you like this content as well as other content in this channel, I'm going to ask you to hit that subscribe button and that bell icon for instant notifications, because you just never know when I'm going to come home from work at 1, 2, or 3 o'clock in the morning. Yes, because I am a real active police officer of 25 years still working in the field. We live stream every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and actually I will be bumping that up to 3:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time from this point forward, where we are currently just randomly doing some gameplay. We were focusing on one game. We just finished GTA 5 Story Mode about a month ago, and I haven't quite picked up another game that I really want to start streaming on Tuesday, so we'll look at that. Every other Saturday, we have what we call Episode with a Cop, and that's where you get to join me, where I have my cup of coffee in the morning, and we talk about life on the beat, my paramedic background, and whatever other comments may possibly come up. And then the rest of the week is just general type of content. But that's pretty much it. A lot of information in the, you know, description down below regarding socials, Discord, Instagram, all that type of stuff. As many people know, I do respond to DMs, not in a timely manner, but I definitely do. And some people have, you know, expressed the fact that they like that. 2022 is starting off pretty awesome, and we are going to definitely try to grow this channel. All right, enough of that junk. Let's get to a little what sight should you choose? Okay, so what I do like about this game are there are different areas where you can change your loadout, and where you customize your weapon is down by the quartermaster. So you come down the stairs, headed towards the indoor range, which I love the indoor range part. Come on over here. This is an area where you can modify your loadout. And then if you want to test that loadout, and we're going to come back here to talk about the sights, is, this is an awesome indoor range sight. I like the green. The green means it's go time. So these are areas where you can, fire your weapon. As we can see, we're good to go. So, but if you want to change your weapons, come on over to the quartermaster on the other side of him. And this is actually en route to the range. And we just press our F button to customize our weapons. So we're going to take a look at that. So as many of you have already known, I'm choosing the M4. It is the standard weapon for most law enforcement agencies today, as well as SWAT teams. It's the .226 round, and there are some teams using the .553. So let's go ahead and we're going to talk about optics. So you throw this on there, as you can see here, and then we're going to go ahead and click our optics button. And we have what we have is we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of optics. Now you can see that I have the M5B, and in reality, these optics, though they're not named the way their true manufacturers are, these are pretty much real optics that are available for rifles. There's Aimpoint, EOTech. They make pretty much a version of these. Now, if we look at the Micro T2, it's on there. We can see that it changes. Let's see what that looks like as far as when we go into the range. So I'm going to grab my optic. I'm going to grab my rifle. Resume the game. And we could see, and I'm going to go to, I like going to this place to test the stuff out. Now here's the thing about optics. They're pretty much all very similar. Red dot, crosshairs, that type of stuff. You got to find what works for you. Now you're going to notice in one of these optics it does not work well, but the flashlight, something you got to take into account. Now my team uses the Romeo and Juliet, and what I like about that is the way we mount our sights is if we have a situation where the sight goes dead, we immediately could go to iron sights to pop up both my iron sights. Boom, I'm ready to go. I'm back on target, and we train that way. We train that if those sights go out, we're now back on iron sights. So I still got to qualify with those iron sights, just like I qualify with mechanical. Well, I know mechanical sights, but red dots and so forth. And so we don't rely on that. But let's go over here, take a look at that. You're going to see the difference here. Now I like this because this gives us a little bit more options for shooting. So you right mouse button, and you could see, look at under a lighted situation, how really, see if we look here, we got our dot. It's right there on the tip of our far iron sight. But if we go over here, you lose it, see? I mean, you could pick it up in those low light situations. And this is one of those things you have to take into account. The sights we use, the Romeo and Juliet, we can lower or raise the the redness or the brightness of the dot. Mine's maxed out, but that's just that. And so one of the things you have to take into account. Now let's throw our flashlight in there. So not bad, right? Not too bad, but once again, this under this light. Now the good part about it is most the scenarios in SWAT, or I should say ready or not, are low light. Okay, so we don't lose that. But so I'll turn off my flashlight. I'm going to take that shot. Now here's what I was telling you about as far as shots. If you had this hostage situation and I was going to try to neutralize this suspect, I got to hit the brain. That way he or she does not have a chance to take out the victim. So here we go. Deep breath. Boom. Look at that shot. Can you see that? Look at that. Very low. I had that dot up there. Let's do that again. Now we got a noggin shot. So now that dot does not represent where the bullet's at. I'll try here. Better shot. I'm going to put that dot right on that little X. And when he comes down to breathe, boom. See that? Or it was an A, actually. I had it right on the A. You see how it's about 3 inches below that? That's what you have to take into account. And I love that the game makers did that. So the red dot is not exactly where your bullet is going. All right, so I forget which one we added. Let's go back and see which one that was. Throw our weapon back on there. So in optics, we had the Micro T2. Let's throw the SRS on there. And let's go back and see what we got. Nice. Now you see how this red dot is a little bit above the iron sight. And that's where we're at with that. And let's see what we look like in low light. Or high light. Lose it again. Nice in the dark areas. Flashlight it. Even in the dark areas, we're looking pretty good. So let's put it on that A. See? Hit the B. Hit the B. Gotta take that into account in those long shots. Let's see if we were to try to noggin him. Look how close we're getting to the shoulder of the hostage. Once again, let's go for that A spot. And we're all dead center. So you could see on this type of shot, I have to think about going higher. So if I wanted to hit the A area, which is going to be center punching him right here, wiping out the cerebral cortex, which going to instantly drop dead, i.e. zombie scenario, we're going to have to go a little bit above that. Imagine as a SWAT operator putting your red dot in clear space, not on the suspect, but in clear space. That's where the training comes into play, because you have to know your rifle. You have to know your sights. And you have to know that at this distance, my bullet is going to drop 3 inches from where I have that red dot. That's a lot to think about in 0.02 seconds when you have a shoot scenario. And that's not even just for SWAT. That is for police officers out in the field every day. So when people say, well, how did they miss? Yeah, we need to train more. So, but look at this. So I want to hit that A. So I'm going to go off target. I'm going to go off the silhouette, and I like the breathing. I wish there was a button to take my breath. Maybe there is, and I just haven't looked yet. Boom. There it is. I hope you guys saw that. Now I got the A out. I had to go above to do that. So nice sight. I like it. Very simplistic. Now you see that? The distance. Let's look at the distance. We're at B. We're at B. So, all right, let's go back and try out another one. Now, I will go and let's go into our little dark area right here, and you might see we have to go into the green area. Okay, let's just do this for real quick just so I can get in this room. So look at that. You have your flashlight on. Where's your red dot? See? Where's your red dot? Perfect with no flashlight, but not so perfect with your flashlight. That's why I wanted to also show you. So let's walk back out here. I love these. I love metal. Those are cool to have for competitions. Now we're going to go back to, or not back to, we're going to do the Hollow Sight Express 3. Let's go check out this one. Now this is an EOTech. I'm very familiar with EOTech as I've used EOTech. And I like EOTech. So they call it, was it Leotech? But it's really Eotech. And as you can see, we have now more of a crosshair. I like this one. This is my preferred, even though it wasn't on my rifle in this game. This is the kind of the sight that I have on the Sig Sauer. This is kind of like the Romeo and Juliet sight. I just prefer it. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get a target here. So we're gonna put the top dot on the A. And you see, the bottom dot tells us where the bullet's going to go. And it did. Let's try that again. Right here. Look where the A's at. Boom. Bottom dot told us where it's going to go. So it kind of takes some of the guesswork out for me to let me know that's where it's going to go. I like that. That is so nice. Let's see. Do we have something else that we can choose? Let's try again right here. Look at, so the dot's on the A. And there we go. Right below it. So that's why this works. So you line up that dot, and then that bottom dot's going to tell you if you're going to get a noggin shot. I really like it. Now, bad thing though, as you can see, even in dark settings, we've lost kind of the ability. I will head on over here to back out to show you under those settings we just did with the other one. Okay, so we're looking, and see, same thing. So the flashlight, while your friend, can also be your enemy. And we'll try out the last one, which I have been utilizing in my gameplay. The M5B. Next video, we'll talk about barrels and so forth like that. Let's keep these short and simple. And we just have our dot there. I actually going to go back to the Eotech. I'm gonna equip the Eotech for my gameplay from this point forward, just because I want. But once again, let's try. Okay, light, good, good. We still see our nice little dot. It's above the iron sight, so you can see how that's going. So let's. So we go see that example. I'm going to iron sight the head. I'm hitting his throat. So if I want to take this guy out from a long shot, the actual sight has to go above his head. Boom. See that? So we're going right at the top edge of that sight. Like right here again. I want to take out the noggin, top of the paper. See that? Top of the paper. And there we go. We're taking out the top of the head. Let's go test out our light. Now, I will be doing some customization of my buttons. I'm going to be making the low ready my inner mouse button. Some of you have commented about that, so I do appreciate that those tips. And I always appreciate all tips, actually. We're here. I'm going to turn off the flashlight. Got our sights. And gone. No target. Target right there. Too close to the door, come around, pipe, boom. Some of you have commented about my 3 shots. It's supposed to be a failure drill, always. Now, if you notice, let's come here. I'm going to do a close shot. 7, boom. Oh, I didn't do it. That's too bad. Let's see if we can do it somewhere else. Last but not least. I don't know if we can. Let's, right here, let's closer. So I'm on the A. So you guys see, just a little bit above to get our desired area. And that is the sights in this game. I'm going to head back out real quick. And let's go back to our quartermaster. So those are the optics. I'm actually going to be equipping the back to the EOTech. I like that. I'm gonna stick with the EOTech. I'm very familiar with the EOTech. Used the EOTech for years. But there you go. So we're gonna have some other videos, and we're gonna be talking about muzzles, under barrels, over barrels, and the ammunition. We're gonna break those down into just a bunch of little videos. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That's our little tutorial on optics and your preference. And remember, this is really just preference. They're all good sights, really just preference. What kind of dot you want to see. And the reason why I like the EOTech is that one dot at the top that I'm going to put that dot there, and that second dot's going to tell me where my bullet's going to go. Very, very important, especially if you're taking longer shots. And I haven't played all the scenarios in Ready or Not yet, but someone's saying like that outdoor one is kind of hectic, so this might be a good one for that. But we just don't get at least most teams that I know, we don't get to just like, oh, we're going to use this sight today, we're going to use this sight today. No, once we put those sights on our rifles, they're there until we, as a team, decide to change all of those. Let's see here. Barrels, a prime example, is my rifle suppressor. There's other operators that don't want a suppressor. And once again, that is just preference. But then again, too, not everyone takes in a rifle. Team leader likes to take in a Benelli shotgun. And he was showing me the new one that he wants to go to, which is pretty awesome. And there are people that are carrying, everyone has lethal on them, at least some type of long rifle lethal. But then we have people who are carrying beanbag shotguns, pepper spray, 40 millimeter grenade, pepper ball. So we have different types of less lethal, because that's the other part about what people need to understand about less lethal is sometimes pepper spray will just not work. Sometimes a taser will just not work. So we have to have other available options. Hence the title in the team, Special Weapons and Tactics. The tactics obviously are the training, but the special weapons. That's why, like police officers in the field, they only have so many tools available to them, and they have to keep going to certain tools because that's all they have. In SWAT teams and tactical teams, special response teams, we have all of these weapons available because a scenario may dictate one while not being able to utilize another. Or we may have something that one technology fails to help us subdue the suspect, and we have to go to another technology. So that's why we take in all of these different technologies, and that's why they're all there. The one thing I did want to mention about Ready or Not, many of you talked about the B button, the civilian, or punch the civilian. Unrealistic. We're not going to, if a civilian is not complying with our orders to get on their knees so we can go ahead and safely take them into custody until we can figure out what's going on, and they're being docile, just non-compliant, we're not going to punch them. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to tase them. It's just not going to happen. We're not going to pepper spray them. It's just not going to happen. We're going to grab them, put them on the ground. Two operators are going to use minimal, that force necessary to go ahead and take them into custody. So this or boom, that type of stuff, it's just not there. So that is the unrealistic part about Ready or Not, SWAT 4, and all these other tactical games. I don't know if the devs can change that, but I would love to just a grab option and drop them on the ground. That would be awesome. But once again, that's all about coding and stuff like that. But for realism, that would be the realistic scenario. Because we just don't, our rules of engagement don't say we have the authority to be able to use the less lethal for non-compliant persons or subjects, because we don't know if they're suspects yet. So that part I would love to see changed in the game. But that's just my 2 cents there on that one. All right. I think that's about it for this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining me on this episode of Ready or Not, choosing the right optic for you. Maybe that'll be the title, but we shall see. All right. Take care of yourself. Take care of one another. We're going to eventually get through this COVID shit together, but until then, I'll be in this chair with my buddy Grogu, making the content you request, you want, and you definitely deserve. Thank you for all the love and support. Thank you for all the support on these Ready or Not videos. I can't believe the hit they have been for this channel, and I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, very humbling. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris the Cop reminding all of you, we can definitely make the world a better place by just helping one person at a time. Sorry about that. And that could be with a simple smile. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Chris the Cop reminding all of you, peace.